Spotify has taken some of R. Kelly's music from off of their playlists due to allegations. So let me throw it your way. How do you feel about that?
I think they're crossing dangerous lines. I understand that they don't want to support, because I know he hasn't been proven guilty, but he has been proven to have done a lot of, heinous or immoral things in the past. In my mind, there's no doubt. Even though I wasn't there, I can't really 100% say he did it. But regardless, I think that a lot of art is to do with dysfunction, is to do with, people who aren't living too right. And if you do this, God rest her soul, you've got to take Whitney Houston's music down, because she went through a phase where she was doing crack. Right. You know what I mean? And all of these artists, you think all of these artists are clean? Right. Where does it, if this is where it starts, where does it end? I don't support R. Kelly and the actions that we believe he is taking and the things that we believe he's involved in. But where does it end?
Well, I feel like this is a great topic. How do you feel about this, Rob? I mean, because I just kind of am wondering where we're going as a society.
Well, so I haven't put a lot of thought specifically into R. Kelly, but I can tell you that I put a lot of thought into social media platforms censoring and filtering content, right? So, and I know this subject pretty well because I produced for Diamond and Silk. And believe me, from a producer standpoint, I absolutely see what Facebook and YouTube have done in terms of their shenanigans with killing their view. But specific to R. Kelly, I think, what's interesting is that so many of these platforms pretend, and it's not even just social media, it's even companies. They try to pretend like they've got virtue, whether it's Starbucks in trying to be virtuous and do, re-education of its entire workforce because of one employee, or Spotify in your example with R. Kelly of saying, oh, well, we're Spotify and we've got virtues and standards and all this other kind of crap, right? So what gives Spotify the right to be able to have virtue and to determine what's good and bad? And if they do we as consumers accept that or reject that? I mean, for me, I reject it because like Daniel said, it's like, nobody's clean. And, it's funny with social media is it's like we're building this alternative reality where everything is based on feelings. And it's like the more that social media goes on, the less it actually mirrors actual life.
Right. We've got Gene Simmons of Kiss with sexual battery on here. Unnamed member of Red Hot Chili Peppers with sexual assault. David Bowie with rape allegations. Real Estate with sexual misconduct. Backstreet Boys, Nick Carter with sexual assault. Ozzy Osbourne with domestic abuse. Ace of Base founding member is a neo-Nazi. Seal has sexual battery allegations against him. Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin, rape of a minor. James Brown, domestic violence. Michael Jackson, sexual abuse of a minor. He actually went to court for that. Miles Davis, domestic abuse. Sid Vicious of Sex Pistols, domestic violence and murder. 6ix9ine is a rapper, sexual misconduct with a minor. Nelly, sexual assault. Miguel, sexual assault. Trey Songz, domestic violence. Fabulous, domestic violence. And Dr. Dre with domestic abuse. Now, I deemed it necessary to read all those names off because how I personally feel is that, whoa, Spotify has stepped into some shit now. Unless they just basically are going to be biased on who they choose and pick in the court of public opinion on who they're going to allow to succeed on their platform. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. And you know what? If they don't repeal this, if they don't go back on this, they have to take off everyone who does something or is accused now. Now, they've shot themselves in the foot because if they do have to do that now, if they stick to their guns and everyone's saying, oh, well, so-and-so just did this, why haven't you taken them down? And so they go take that person down, then titles like their advertising point then becomes get all the artists here that you can't get anywhere else. Or you know what I mean? If 5 out of 10 of my favorite artists aren't on Spotify, but 10 out of 10 are on Tidal, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to cancel my Spotify subscription. I'm going to go over to Tidal. So I think They thought, oh, this is going to be good PR. This is going to be, look at us, look how much we care. As Rob said, how virtuous we are.
Right.
Oh God, they need to fire whoever it was that said, I know that'd be a good idea.
Right.